1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 26, as we are here at Shaw University considering your theme, Shaw Unity. I want us to listen to the words that Paul writes to the church at Corinth in 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 26. The New International Version reads this way. Paul says, if one part suffers, every part suffers with it. If one part is honored, every part rejoices with it. So then I want to talk about unity. Started from the bottom, now we're here. Unity. Started from the bottom, now we're here. You know, in my work as a vocalist, I have learned that lyrics to songs is very important. I had the grand opportunity to travel to Hollywood via American Idol. I was chosen to travel there with other young people, and when I got there, I can tell you that one of the things that Simon Cowell told us was to be very careful about the song that you chose. You see, when we were out in California, they made us think even deeply about the appreciation of music. All different genres, you know, they gave us a sheet with different music, you know, different songs listed, and you had to choose a song for your performance. And so I learned more and more, being a vocalist, that the lyrics are very vital. Lyrics mattered. And even still, you know, lyrics mattered, and what matters now. And so when I was contemplating lyrics that had to do with unity, a song came to mind. Right. I thought about the lyrics of a song entitled Started from the Bottom. All right. Now, since I'm on a college campus, I know that there are those listeners out there who have heard this song before. Oh, I know that I have a section of people in here who have heard of an artist called Drake. Yeah. Well, Drake has a song entitled Started from the Bottom. In the song, Drake focuses on unity. I wanted to know more about what Drake had to say about his song, and so I listened to an interview that he gave when talking about his song, Started from the Bottom. Drake said, I wrote a little letter with the song. It was about the misinterpretation of me as a person. I feel like I don't say enough. People have their own misconceived notions or preconceived stories about what I've been through, and I'm just kind of excited about this song. He said, it means a lot to me and my friends and what we've done to get to this position. So I'm excited about it. So then, these are the lyrics to Drake's song. Some of the lyrics started from the bottom when he's talking about unity. He says, I done kept it real from the jump. Living at my mama's house, we'd argue every month. I was trying to get it on my own, working all night, traffic on the way home. And my uncle calling me like, where you at? I gave you the keys, told you bring it right back. I just think it's funny how it goes. Now I'm on the road, $500,000 for a show. Started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now the whole team here. Oh, I knew I had some college students. Started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now my whole team here. Yeah. You see, it wasn't just about Drake. Yeah. It was about the whole team. You see, that's what unity is all about. You know, the fact of the matter is Christians are a team. Whether we act like it or not, Christians are a team. I mean, even when you think about teams, you may start from the beginning, but you end up on top, but only if you work together. This is Super Bowl Sunday. All right. Your favorite team may have made it to the Super Bowl. You know, Super Bowl is all about unity. Some of us are waiting to get home so that we can watch our team. Who is it who are you cheering for? Kansas City. Somebody got a little choked up when they heard Kansas City. The point is, it's all about the team working together. Christians are a team. So then in our text, Paul writes to this church in Corinth because he wanted them to understand unity. There were some things going on in the church in Corinth. You see, it was a mess. There was no unity to be found. The Lord's Supper had been corrupted in their practice. In this this church, the spiritual gifts that they had, they were misusing them. Adultery was tolerated in this church. Paul had to write to them because there was disorder in their assemblies, and they even were divided into various competing groups. And so Paul did not want to give up on these people. He wrote to them because he loved them. He wrote to them because he loved God. He wrote to them because he did not want them to be consumed by sin. He wanted them to be purged from their debilitating conditions. So he writes by inspiration of the Holy Spirit. The Apostle Paul, he's there writing to these people because he realized that although the Corinthians would have started at the bottom, sin and darkness and defeat, together they could be unified and go to the top with Jesus Christ. But what Paul wanted them to understand is that if you're going to go to the top together, you must accept, hey, we Christians are one. Christians should be people who seek peace and love harmony and despise division. There is a South African philosophy called Ubuntu.
All right.
Maybe you've heard it before. It's a philosophy. Ubuntu is I am because we are. I am because we are. It is a reminder that no one is an island, and every single thing you do, whether it be good or bad, affects your family, it affects your community, and it affects your friends. And so Ubuntu, even when Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu talked about Ubuntu, he touched on the meaning, and he said, we think of ourselves far too frequently as just individuals, separated from one another. He says, you are connected, and what you do affects the whole world. When you do it well, it spreads out. It's for the whole of humanity. So then, in Jesus Christ, if we're truly going to be unified, then we must understand that we are united by the strongest bond of love that there's ever been because of Jesus. As Christians, if we're going to be unified, we have to understand that we are dependent upon one another. But unfortunately, even Christians seem to have a schizophrenic theology at times. You see, I talked about song lyrics, didn't I? Even in Christendom, when we consider theology, sometimes we can be schizophrenic. One day I wake up and I say, I need you, you need me. We're all a part of God's body. Stand with me, right? Agree with me. It is his will that every need be supplied. You are important to me. Come on, Christians. I need you to survive. I felt like that on Monday. But by Friday, I said, long as I got King Jesus, long as I got King Jesus, long as I got, don't need nobody else. Which one is it? A schizophrenic theology that is invading our participation together, not realizing that, hey, we are one. Church at Corinth, get it together. Because you need to understand that we're one. But not only that, Paul was trying to get them to understand that we suffer together. Christians are going to face time of suffering. Paul knew that Christians would suffer. He knew because he was a former source of Christian suffering. Oh yes, Paul. Before he was Paul, his name was Saul, and he was a conduit through which pain flowed through for Christians. He had Christians persecuted. Paul, before he was changed by God, was a vicious man. A man who caused much suffering. And so maybe he's trying to tell them, you're going to suffer because I know what suffering looks like. I know what suffering feels like. And you're going to need somebody in difficult times. So then if you are a Christian even on today, my question for you is, do you have a Christian to suffer with? Not the one students who you study if there is honor to be had, then that honor, even in and of itself, remember that we are honored together. Yes. Paul wrote, if one part is honored, every part rejoices with it. In the Corinthian church, he wanted them to realize that if one member was favored with remarkable talent, if one person was raised to a station of influence, if one person exerted that influence to give Jesus Christ praise, then that meant that all members of the church partook in its benefit. When you're here at Shaw University, it's not just about you. That's right. It's about so many other people. When you walk across these stages and you get your diplomas and your degrees, it's not just about you. It's an honorable time, but it's not just about you. It's about the common good. And all should rejoice together. And even as we are here celebrating the second day of Black History Month, understanding that Black history is American history, that should be celebrated 365 days. You should talk about it. You should honor it, and you should respect it with your mouth and your actions every single day. But as we think about Black heroes, we know that they have exemplified the biblical truth that if one part is honored, every part rejoices with it. You see, Harriet Tubman, as one part, was honored with freedom, but every part rejoiced with her when she went back and freed some other folks. We are honored together. Frederick Douglass, as one part, was honored as a great orator, but every part rejoiced when he stood and he spoke for the slave community and raised the question, what to the slave is the 4th of July? We are honored together. Ida B. Wells, as one part, was honored as a great journalist, but every part rejoiced when she used her talent to write about the conditions of slaves in southern states. We are honored together. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., as one part, was honored to be a prophetic dreamer, but every part rejoiced with him when he included all people saying, we must live together as brothers or perish together as fools. We are honored together. Blacks in America, a people who started from the bottom, chains and cotton fields, whips and torture. Now we're here. HBCUs, Black-owned businesses, homeowners, even churches and strong faith, even a president called Barack Obama. Now we're here. So if the Corinthians were going to be honorable, and if they were going to make it to the top, then they were going to have to be unified, but not just unified like on the football field today. Not just unified in a classroom trying to pass a test. Not just unified when it benefits me, and until it does, I'm not concerned, but unified in Jesus Christ. You see, because the God who sent Jesus is not the God of bottom status. I said the God who sent Jesus is not the God of bottom status. I need to say it again. The God who sent Jesus is not the God of a bottom status. Read Deuteronomy 28:13. Moses told the Israelites, the Lord will make you the head and not the tail. If you pay attention to the Lord's commands, and if you obey them, you'll always be on the top and never on the bottom. I told you that God is the God not of a bottom status, but God is about being on top. And so if you are following the commands of God, then that means that you don't have to worry about being on the bottom. If you're following the commands of God, that means that you don't have to worry about people pushing you down because you serve a God of a top movement. But when you get discouraged, even in 2020. I may be following the precepts of the Lord. I come to chapel on Shaw University's campus. I study my word and I pray and I try to follow God's precepts, but I feel like I'm on the bottom. Yeah. I come by to tell you, be strong and courageous. Yes. Don't be afraid. Yes. Don't be dismayed. The Lord your God is with you everywhere you go. Yes. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Yeah. And don't lean to your own understanding. No matter how many degrees you get, that's right. No matter how successful you become by the definition of this world, don't lean to your own understanding. Acknowledge him and he will direct your path. And so the question was raised, who is he who overcomes the world? The answer is only the one who believes that Jesus is the Son of God. Yes. Do you believe that Jesus is the Son of God? If you believe that Jesus is the Son of God, then you will overcome. Why? Because Jesus overcame. Yes. You see, death thought that Jesus was at the bottom. Come on here. It was looking pretty bad for Jesus. Death thought that Jesus was at the bottom, and so death sent the grave a text message and said he's on the way. Yeah. He's on the way to the bottom. You see, the grave needs to be prepared. Death had a conversation via text message with the grave and said that Jesus is coming because it looked like Jesus was on the bottom. Yeah. But I'm here to tell you that the nails didn't stop him. You see, it made it look like he was on the bottom. The beating didn't stop him, even though it looked like he was on the bottom. The mocking didn't stop him, even though it looked like he was on the bottom. The crown of thorns on his head didn't stop him, even though it looked like he was on the bottom. The piercing in his side didn't stop him, even though it looked like he was on the bottom. And I don't care what conversation the grave has with death or death has with grave. When it comes to our Jesus, you need to know that Jesus came out on top. You need to know that Jesus rose with all power. The enemy didn't stop Jesus, and if you're following Jesus, then the enemy can't stop you. So then you have to make up your mind that I'm going to live on the top. I don't care what the student loans look like. I don't care what the debt looks like. I don't care what the text looks like. I don't care what people say about my GPA. I don't care what side of the tracks I came from. I don't even care what I look like today. My God, I said, my God is able to put me on top. And the good thing about being on top is that when God puts you there, can't nobody take you down. I said the good thing about being on top is that when God puts you there, can't nobody bring you down. So always remember that God is the God of a forward movement. God is the God of being on top. And as long as you got Jesus, and as long as you stay unified, God will take you places that you can't even imagine. God is good and worthy to be praised.